Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zerel. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the deep dive, codenamed Engineer's Ditch. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the deep dive has no modifier, but it has alien eggs and a black box. So of course, alien eggs, you're going to look for that organic matter on the sides of the level and dig in towards the pulsing red light and dig out the egg. Get ready for the enemies to come after you. Even if you don't spawn a swarm, you're going to have some enemies spawn close by. So make sure that you're ready for them. And the black box, you're going to look for that green glow somewhere in the level. It'll probably be close to one of the eggs. And then start to repair it. Make sure that your team's ready for you. While you're doing the deep dive, make sure that you're looking out for gold and nitra for different reasons. Gold, of course, will give you more credits at the end of the deep dive. And nitra will keep you flush with ammo and health during the deep dive. So they're both very important for different reasons. Make sure you don't get yourself into a corner, and if you are in a corner, that you're well defended against the hordes of enemies that are going to be coming after you. You certainly don't want to have a detonator spawn while you're in the corner and have no way out. Now, the black box is a zone control. You want as many people within that dome as possible. The more people that are in the dome, the faster your progress goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And if nobody's in there, you start losing progress rapidly. If you get down to 0%, then you failed and you'll have to restart. But once you get to 100%, then you can move on. Now, the alien eggs are on the terrain scanner. So if you're not really sure where that missing one is at, you can always look there and it'll tell you exactly where they are at. And even if you have one that got popped out, but then you had to abandon it because there was a swarm coming or whatever the case may be, you can look on the terrain scanner and it'll tell you where that egg was dropped off at. Always keep your eyes open for enemies coming after you, especially when you pop those eggs out. But just in general, as there will be scheduled swarms in addition to the enemies that spawn because of an alien egg. Keep up the good fight, mine what you can mine, and don't get overwhelmed by the enemies. If you start seeing a lot of enemies, it's time to move to a better position or just farther away, just so that you have a little bit of breathing room so you can dispatch them and then move on with the mission. Now, once you have all the alien eggs and the black box taken care of, it's time to call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now, this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play by yourself with your buddy Bosco or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. Just know that if you're playing solo, it will likely take you longer to complete the deep dive than if you were playing with a full team of 4 dwarves. And having different professions on each player will likely help you out in the long run, as everyone has different traversal tools and tools at their disposal. So that's it for stage number 1. Moving on to stage number 2. Alright, stage 2 of the deep dive. This time we have regenerative bugs as a modifier. That means if you don't finish a bug off or another enemy, they will start regenerating their health. You'll see kind of a green haze around them. And we're doing a quarks and alien eggs, so digging up big chunks of whatever seems to be the theme this time around in this week's deep dive. Now this particular stage, you won't have the mules, so you'll have to hoof all the minerals, eggs, and the quarks back to the rig. Just like the last stage, you're going to look for the organic matter on the level, or look at your terrain scanner to find out where those eggs are at. Dig them out while you're digging towards the pulsing red light and drop them into the rig. Quarks, you're going to look for those glowing blue flecks on the side of the level and dig them up, that big blue chunk of a quark, and drop them into the rig. So you're going to have a lot of heavy loads this time around in the deep dive. Now, because it's in a quark level, you're going to want to finish this as quickly as possible, because the longer you're in this particular stage, the more enemies are going to come after you, and the more frequently they're going to come after you. So at first, you'll be in the stage for a couple of minutes, and then you'll have a swarm of enemies. You might have a swarm of enemies pop up after one of the eggs is popped out, but then you'll also have spawns of enemies that show up in between the swarms, and it becomes more and more frequent. So there's more enemies, and they come at you more frequently the longer it takes you to complete. So complete this stage as quickly as possible. So hopefully everyone's on the same page about what their duty is in order to get through it. Now, once you have all the eggs and the quarks, send the rig to orbit and call in the drop pod. Now you'll have to wait a whole 2 minutes before the drop pod shows up, and even after the timer hits 0, you're still going to have to wait about 30 seconds to a minute before the drop pod shows up. It is generally in a more remote section of the level, so if you think that you know where it's at, you can move towards that section. But if you want to stay by the rig, because it does have autonomous turrets on it, so you have at least some defense, you can certainly do that as well. But once you see the UI pop up with the drop pod, start heading towards it. Once you have an opening in between the enemies, make your way over there, and then get on and make your way to the next stage of the deep dive. So this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next. That's including your health, your ammo, your gold and nitra, everything including what's in your pocket. So if you don't have time to drop stuff into the rig or into the side of the drop pod before you leave, because everything's getting a little too crazy, you can still drop it in the next stage. Just be sure to do it. Drop everything off in the drop pod at the end of stage 3 before you leave, so you get credit. Speaking of, on to the final stage of the deep dive. That's right, stage number 3. This time around we have the drill dozer and mini mules. So this is an escort mission. You have to keep the drill dozer both repaired and guarded. As you see on the right hand side, there is a health bar for each section, each of the 3 sections of the drill dozer. If any one of them gets to 0%, you're still okay, you still have other sections. But if all 3 sections get to 0, then you failed, and you'll have to start the deep dive over from the first stage. So make sure that you're keeping the drill dozer repaired and protected. Now once you get to the Omeron Heartstone, you'll have 4 phases of battle before you can get the Heartstone popped out. And make sure you have found those mini mules, as you won't be able to start until those mini mules are repaired. Mini mules you're gonna look for and listen for in the level. They'll have a green glow around them, kind of like the black box does. And they'll also ping when you get close to them and you're pointed in the right direction. So find them, find the missing legs, and then repair it, and then you're done. It's not a full salvage mission, so you don't have to worry about the other parts of those types of missions. Now also there is Mactera Plague, which means there's going to be a lot more flyers in this level than usual. That includes the grabbers, the goo bombers, and everything else. So make sure that you're looking skyward for those flyers, but also keep your eyes open for any cave leeches that might want to grab a dwarven snack. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Grabbing ammo.
The Hearthstone is ours. Objective completed. Drop pods on the way. Hang in there.
Who says dwarves can't fly?
Ready to kill some more crepes. Feeling much better now.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
If the drop pod won't start, give the drill a right good kicking and slap the dice till it purrs like a kitten.
Hey, I mean never turn my back on you again.
I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
Use real mules making the tank, keeping up the
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes. Roger that. Supplies are coming.
You're not getting any young age.
Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
Yeah!
The mule is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
Rock and stone, yeah!
PlayStation